What's going on, Facebook fam? It's your man, Dr. Will. And you guys know the deal. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you're chiming in from. I'm here on the beautiful island of St. Martin. And I want to come and talk to you about building community and building a brand. So as you guys are coming in, let me know what city, what state, what country you're chiming in from. And let's talk about how we build community and how we build a movement. So if you are an author, a speaker, a leader, you want to be an influencer, what's going on, Rob? You're going to want to listen to this. So earlier today, I had an opportunity to meet with some of my entrepreneur clients here on the island, and we were talking about how to build a movement and how to build our brand out and how you build community. And one of the things that I found out by listening to some of the feedback from some of my clients were that a lot of them were building on a wrong premise. They were building on a wrong idea. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that tonight. And I shared with them a story that I'm going to share with you guys that I always love to use when I'm talking about this particular topic. And so there's a story. There's a young lady, and she's getting ready to fix her holiday meal. And so she's getting ready to fix her holiday meal, and she's getting ready to cook this ham. So she has this ham, and she gets ready to prepare the ham. And as she's preparing the ham, she takes the ham out. And as she's preparing the ham, her husband walks in and she begins to cut the end of the ham. She starts to cut the end of the ham. And her husband says, "Hey, honey, well, why are you cutting the end of the ham?" And she looked at her husband with a puzzled look, and she says, "Well, my mom always cut the end of the ham, and so I just followed my mom and I cut my ham like this." And he was like, "That's weird. I've never seen that before." And so it started working on the girl, on the woman, and she started really thinking about it. Well, why did my mom cut the ham? So she calls her mom and she says, "Hey, Mom, I'm getting ready to cook my holiday meal, and I'm preparing my ham. And I always noticed that you used to cut off the end of your ham, and so I cut off the end of my ham." She says, "I was just wondering, why do you do that?" And the mom was like, "You know what? Your grandmother always used to cut off the end of the ham, and when I watched her, that's where I learned it from." And so now both of these women are perplexed. They're wondering, why did the grandma, what's going on, Thurston? Why did the grandma cut off the end of the ham? So both of the ladies said, "Come on, let's call grandma on three-way and let's find out why grandma used to cut the end of the ham." So they get on the phone and they call grandma and they say, "Hey, grandma, how you doing?" She says, "I'm doing fine." They say, "Hey, I'm cooking my holiday dinner, and as I was cooking it, I was cutting off the end of my ham, and we were just wondering, Mom and I were wondering, why did you cut off the end of your ham when you used to cook your ham?" And the grandmother, she started laughing as she began to reminisce, and she says, "Well, when I started cooking holiday dinner, at the time, I did not have a big enough pan to fit all of the ham in. So I would have to cut the end of the ham to fit into my pan." And the two women, they begin to laugh Because all this time, they thought it was something special about cutting the end of the ham off. And the grandma, was cutting the ham out of necessity. Now, I share this story because so many of us are following practices and we're following things that we have no idea of why we're doing it. And that's what I find in the marketing space, right? When you're talking about building a movement and building a community, there was this buzzword, a decade or two ago about niche. What's your niche? And people were saying, okay, you got to find your niche. And then they introduced another word, avatar. Like, what's your avatar? And what they were asking was, who's your ideal client? Who's your ideal client? And so what they would do is when they were working with people to talk about their branding and their movement and their community, they would say, who's in your community? Who's in your community? And what they were trying to do is get you to create this profile. Well, I serve women between the ages of 25 and 45 from the Midwest who are college educated. They wanted you to pick a niche, right? They even said, pick a niche and get rich. Pick a niche and get rich. Create this avatar and concentrate on this avatar. Well, the problem with that is that philosophy was adopted from advertisers and marketing when they were advertising on the radio and they were advertising on television. And they would have to determine who they were specifically talking to because they only had limiting marketing dollars. So they had to figure out, okay, if we want to talk to men that are between the ages of 40 and 60, then we need to market and we need to advertise on this radio program, this one radio program right here. Let's just say, Meet the Press. So we're going to do our commercials and we're going to do our marketing via Meet the Press, because Meet the Press demographic is men that are between the ages of 40 and 60, and they like this particular thing. They like to go hunting or they like whatever. Well, they were doing that because they had very limited marketing dollars. So they had to be very targeted in who they were going after. Well, the new model in the 21st century is because we have mediums like Facebook, because we have mediums like YouTube, and we have mediums like LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter. It's not so much about you figuring out who your ideal avatar is. It's really about you figuring out who your ideal mindset is. Who is it that has a mindset like you? Who is it that lines up with your philosophy? That's how you begin to create community, and that's how you begin to create a movement. Not off an avatar that says, I only serve women between the ages of 20 and 40, or I only serve, men between the ages of 50 and 70. No, it's a mindset. It's a philosophy that you want to connect with. It's a philosophy. Who has the mindset? Who has the mindset like you? And so now, because we have all these different mediums that we can reach people, I give you a prime just for myself. Everyone that, that's connected with me, we live by the philosophy that we believe that you can live genius. And to live genius just simply means that you're going to tap into the best version of yourself, the best part of yourself. So for me, when we created this genius community, I have women who are 50 that connect with me. I have young adults who are 25 that connect with me. I have teenagers that connect with me. I have white males that connect with me. I've been all around the world, 50 different countries on 6 different continents, because people resonate with the message. They resonate with the message. And so I'm not speaking to a particular avatar. If I just look at, some of the names that, that are on here, I see Dr. Eric Holmes, right? He resonates with the message, right? I see some others on here. You guys are not the same demographic, right? I see blacks, I see whites on my timeline, I see Asians on my timeline, I see people all around the world, right? Nebraska is not the same as Dr. E, and Dr. E is not the same as Robert Youngblood. They're all different, but if you talk to all of us want to tap into the best version of ourselves. All of us are committed to personal development. All of us are committed to serving this world, making an impact in this world, and we all look different, but we can all connect with a Dr. Will, because the philosophy that Dr. Will is talking about is a philosophy that anyone can get onto. So, who is that rapper? He says 8 to 80, dumb, crippling, crazy. So my demographic is 8 to 80. If you are an individual that says, I want to develop the best version of myself, then we can connect. If you're a person that's willing to do the work, we can connect. Now, who I don't connect with is people who don't want to make an impact in the world, people that don't want to do the work, then that's who I don't connect with. But if you're a person that's willing to do the work, if you're a person that has a positive mindset, you could be 8 and have a positive mindset, right? You can be 18 and have a positive mindset. You can be 80 and have a positive mindset. And so as you guys are building your community and you're building your brand and you're building your movement, I want you to focus on your message. What is your message? What is your philosophy? And don't cap it and don't put a lid on it to say, oh, I'm only connecting with this type of person. I'm only serving this type of person. I have clients who are 10 years old. I have clients who are 21. I have clients who are 40. I have a client who is 88 years old. And he hired me because he says, Dr. Will, I don't want to leave this earth without putting out my best in the world. He's 88 years old. He's 88 years old. And his daughter was listening to me on a Facebook Live. His daughter was listening to me on a Facebook Live. And he overheard her listening to me. And he says, who's that young fella? I like what he's talking about. I like what he's talking about. And she says, oh, Dad, that's a guy I follow. His name is Dr. Will. And she literally went out and got him a smartphone. Because he said, I want to listen to this guy. Does he do this a lot? She's like, Dad, he does a video like this probably almost every day or every other day. So she went out and got her dad a smartphone so he could connect to Facebook and watch my videos, right? Dr. House is probably watching right now, right? He doesn't get engaged. He tells me that's too much. He says, I can't watch you and text. So he just sets it up. He sets up his phone and he watches me. So Dr. House may be watching right now, but he's 88 years old. And after he watched several of my videos, he asked his daughter to reach out to me. His daughter reached out to me, and he ended up joining one of our coaching programs. And I'm teaching him how to build out community in his whole world, what that means for him. Because he says, man, I've always been into personal development, and I want to have a positive impact in this world. Before I get out of here, at 88 years old, I would have missed the opportunity of working with him if I had this closed mind concept of saying, oh, you don't fit my avatar. You're not in my avatar, right? And so as you're building community, You want your community to be filled with all type of diverse individuals. That's how we grow. With our communities, like, I just want you guys to think about that. If your community is just monolithic, if your community is monolithic and everybody looks alike, everybody sounds alike, everybody's the same, you know what I mean? It's not going to be a very robust community. So as you guys are building out your communities and building out your brands, don't think the old way. Don't think how they used to do marketing in the old days because that's how they had to do it. The world is wide open right now. The world is wide open. And these devices that we're on right now give us the opportunity to literally reach the world. I know we say that, I want to reach the world. I want to impact the world. But these devices that we have and these mediums that we have, YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, we literally, TikTok, all of them, we literally can reach the world. So create your, I love what the Bible says. It says, for God so loved the world. For God so loved the world. And so that's a philosophy that you want to adopt, that you're speaking to the people that are in the world. 7.9 billion people, not all of them, but the ones that resonate with your message. And once again, there's somebody that's 8 years old that can resonate with your message. I mean, one of my youngest clients, he reached out to his parents. His parents were my clients, and he was listening to me again via his parents, and he told his parents, man, I want to work with Dr. Will. I want to take my allowance and I want to work with Dr. Will. I want him to help me build my brand. The kid was 8 years old, I think, when that started. Right? And so you don't want to, when his parents reached out to me and said, hey, our son wants to work with you. Oh, he doesn't fit my avatar. He doesn't fit my avatar. No, I was honored that my message was resonating with someone so young. And that was an honor to me, that I was like, man, I wish when I was that age that I was hearing something like this that I could connect to. That kid he's going to be a powerhouse. He's listening to this type of information at the age of 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. He's already framed a mindset that he wants to be a positive influence in the world. The kid is 10 years old and has multiple businesses already at 10 years old. And so because he's listening to powerful voices like this, and people are not saying, wait, you're not my avatar. You're not in my niche. So if you're going to build a powerful movement and a powerful community, guys, that's what you want to think about, your messaging. And then you want to connect with those that connect with you. And the way that happens is you just keep showing up. You just keep showing up with your philosophy and your message and your ideas about how you feel you can transform the world or how you can support the world with your message. And then you'll begin to see that all types of individuals will begin to resonate with your message. And that's how you build community, guys. That's how you build a movement, right? Don't think the old way. Don't think like, oh, I can just serve this group right here, or I can only serve that group right there. If you're literally going to be worldwide, if you're literally going to be international, your mindset has to be international. Your mindset and the way you communicate has to be international. You have to have a global perspective. You can't have a local perspective and want to be global, guys. You can't have, right? Just think about that. If a Les Brown or a Lisa Nichols or an Oprah Winfrey or a Kevin Hart said, oh, this is my demographic. This is my demographic right here. This is the niche that I'm reaching to. No, you want to reach and you want to connect with those that relate to you. That's who you want to reach out to, and that's who you want to connect with. Those that resonate, when they hear your voice, they say, yeah, I can follow this person. I want to be connected to this person. So I hope that helped you out, guys. Think about that. You know, take what I say, listen to it, evaluate, see, let me share this with you. Look, think about Starbucks. Think about Starbucks and the idea of coffee. Think about Starbucks and the idea of coffee. Coffee used to seem like it was a old person's drink or an older person's drink, right? Coffee. Think about this. Coffee, the idea of coffee. Who was drinking coffee, right? Your older parents, your grandfather, right? Got to get my coffee. Starbucks didn't hit the market saying coffee was for old people. They didn't hit the market saying coffee was for workers. Starbucks said, we want to be the third place of impact. We want to be the third place of impact for people. So when you go into a Starbucks, you see the stay-at-home parent. You see the college kid doing their homework. You see the entrepreneur building their business. You see the older person reading the newspaper. Everybody, all types of demographic goes to Starbucks because Starbucks didn't say our coffee is for old people. Starbucks didn't say our coffee is for the working person. Starbucks said now you have more people, younger people drinking lattes and drinking cappuccinos and drinking frappuccinos, right? Because Starbucks said our product is for everybody. Our product is for everybody, right? And so this is why when you go into a Starbucks, their demographic is literally everybody. Everybody that wants to be in this type of environment. Everybody that wants to be in this type of cozy environment where you can just come and you can sit. I don't know if you guys remember, but Wi-Fi used to be a big deal. You remember when Wi-Fi was a big deal? And most companies, most restaurants and most coffee houses and things like that, they made Wi-Fi like the holy grail. Like, unless you're a customer, you can't use our Wi-Fi and we got a limit on our Wi-Fi. Starbucks said, oh, okay, if Wi-Fi is something people need, then we're just going to provide Wi-Fi. Just come into our Starbucks. You don't even have to buy anything. Just come sit here in our Starbucks. Like, I've seen people in Starbucks literally bring their computers and printers and get them a table in Starbucks and set up their whole office in Starbucks. And they never get bothered. Starbucks doesn't say, hey, you've been here an hour already. You haven't bought anything. Boom, boom, boom. Because they wanted to build community. They wanted to build a movement around this idea. They wanted to build a movement and an idea, right? And so Starbucks, when everybody was trying to be stingy with the Wi-Fi, Starbucks said, boom, we're just going to serve people. Come on over here, get this Wi-Fi and get a cappuccino. And then you started seeing other companies ease up on their Wi-Fi, right? So think about that, guys. How can you serve? How can you get your message out there to build this community of diverse individuals that resonate with your message? That's what you want to think about. That's who you want to connect with. Individuals that resonate with your message. All right, guys, have a fantastic morning where I am here, morning, and wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll chat with you guys later.